Hello, this is Chris, and today we'll be learning how to draw again. This time, however, we're going to learn how to draw a female, and hopefully, if time allows it, we'll learn how to shade as well. I figure since the female is similar to the male, that it should take us less time to actually go over the female. Now, we're going to do something similar to the male, which is make the basic outline. Now for the female, we make the circle again. It's pretty much similar for the first outline except for the head. This time, instead of making a square face, a square chin, we're going to want to make a bit of a thinner, not quite sharp, but not quite blocky chin either. And then the rest should be the same. We'll have her face forward again. That way it's easier to draw her. I'm not going to go through so much of this first outline, mostly because we already went through it with the male. I'll give a somewhat basic one just in case you didn't see the video with drawing the male, but for the most part it's relatively simple. You're going to want to make the circles again for the shoulder and the line so that it makes it easier for you to draw the neck and the muscle and such. Going to draw the hip so you can tell where the legs are going to be and where you want to the hands to wind up. Now for the arm, we're gonna have both of them up like she's double waving for some reason. I figured that would be more interesting than what we had the male do. If you want to measure the length of the lines for the arms using the method I showed you with your pencil and your fingers, you can. I'm not doing this video just so that we will have enough time to learn how to shade. Now, probably not going to draw the feet again in this video. I don't find that necessarily important. Maybe the next video, the third video I'll make in this series, I'll just make a bunch of random drawings showing you guys how to draw random things within a certain time limit. Now this is the basic outline. We're going to erase the head and make it a little bit bigger because I feel it's too small. Make this circle a little bigger. Again, just like the male, you want to draw a little lighter. The only reason I'm not drawing so light is because I want you guys to be able to see what I'm drawing. Now, so you can get a better look. It's not as blocky as the male's chin was, which I will show you here in a second. Notice how his face is a little blocky, thicker, and how this face right here is thinner. That's what we want. Now we'll draw the second outline. We're gonna make this one not quite muscular. Draw up to the shoulder circles again, as we did with the male. Bring her arm down to this circle. Cut a little part off that line, which is right there. Cut a little part off right there. So that means you start your line right here and go right before that. Draw the second line for the outside of his hand, her hand. and draw right so it's barely touching that line again. Make the little indenter. You can see that for last if you want. I'm drawing now to get out of the way. Draw the outside for the second hand. Draw the little where the arm will start and stuff. Now we're going to draw our actual body. Now for females, you want to make sure you have a lot of curvature at the hips. That's right there, right at the hips. Do you see how there's a lot of curvature right there? Very curvy at the hips. That's because biological wise, women grow bigger in certain places where men do not. This is one of those places, the hips. Somewhat of an hourglass figure. Unless you want your female to look different than how I'm drawing it, then go ahead, draw however you want. This is just a very standard thing. Now we're going to draw the rest of the outline for the legs. Have these stand a little closer together. Boom. Now we're going to work on the... Oh, we never replaced the line for the head. Replace that. Draw the hairline. Now we're going to work on the facial feature for the female. It is again similar to the male. You want to draw the eyes. Gonna move so you guys can see this a little better for me drawing the eyes. Remember to make your little curve right there. Then the second curve. Same way with the other side. Curve. Second curve. Then the actual iris and the pupil. Her eyes aren't lining up that well. But that's also due to the position of the head and stuff. Next we'll draw a nose. Women's nose are a little more narrow than men's, so you'll make her nose a bit more narrow than we made our guys. She has that little weird nose that I tend to draw, not that I like how it looks. Kinda reminds me of a little arm or something. Hopefully you guys draw much better noses than I do. Now we're going to draw the eyebrows. They're not going to be very thick, they're going to be thin. With a bit of an arch to it. We're going to draw her just straight faced. Remember to add lips. We'll save her hair for a little. Actually, no, we'll draw the hair now. So, the hair on the women's different for everyone, however you want it. I like to make the hair on my women longer. And spill over a little bit on the facial features. So, cover a little bit of the eye, just barely. As you can see, just barely cover a little bit of the eye. Have this strand of the hair fall down over her shoulder a little bit. Now draw back up. And rest with the top of the outline of the half circle of the circle you guys drew earlier. You can't really see it, but there's barely an outline of where it was on my paper. I'm using that to help me guide where I should have the hair. Now we're going to erase the part of the face that I covered and the little line on the shoulder, and do the same on the other side of her face. Again, I'm going to cover part of the face and have the hair cover her shoulder. And like I said in the last video, this isn't the best hair tutorial. This is just a basic one to get you started. Hair is not quite my forte. Then you have the basic hair of a female. Again, I apologize for my camera. It's not quite the best. Now we're going to give her a shirt. And like the male, we're going to start the shirt right at this little like corner between the neck and the shoulder, right where my pencil is. Start it right there. Erase where the line was, since we're starting to begin on the shirt and stuff. Now I'm going to give her a little sharper shoulder than she already has, just so you guys can see what I did. I added a little bit more meat on her shoulder so it doesn't look so, I'm not quite sure the word, but less pronounced. There we go. So it doesn't look less pronounced than what I have just made it. Going to give her a slight bit of muscle so you can tell that's an arm. In case you haven't told, I'm kind of a fan of drawing the muscle. Slight little bulges of the muscle never hurt a picture, if you ask me. But that's only drawing fictional characters. If you're trying to draw like a portrait or something, and the person doesn't have quite that much muscle, it's probably not the best idea to draw it. Now we're going to add a little bit of muscle on her arm so it doesn't look so flat. Make sure you erase your outline good, which is why I request you guys to draw it lighter. The only reason I'm drawing mine darker again is so you guys can see it better. Now we'll begin with the hand. In case you've forgotten, we want to draw a half circle and keep the rectangle where it is and use it as an outline for your fingers. Like draw the pinky first, but that's my preference. You can start wherever. Draw the thumb last. That's not a bad hand right there, if you ask me. But then again, we want to erase a little bit of the actual hand and stuff. Retrace the fingers. But we're going to want to make it smoother to transition into the arm a bit easier. And I'm going to erase a little bit of this muscle I had on the arm just because it didn't seem to fit. There we go, there's one arm. We'll have her shirt go about right there. Now we'll start with the other arm, and we're going to try and make it as thick as we did with the other one. Also fix the shoulder a little bit, at least in my case I am. Add a little muscle right there, add a little muscle on the other side as well. Erase the outline within the arm. Make sure you do a good job, because having the outline in the final product makes the final product not look as good as it could have without the outline there. I'm just drawing in these little lines here. Not sure if you can see them. I'll bring it closer to the camera. These little lines right here That way to give the arm a little bit more of a realistic look. I'll add some muscle to the other arm as well, just a little bit. I mean to the other part of the arm, the forearm. Have the shirt sleeve right there. And now we'll work on the hand. Remember, the thumb's always facing in. Don't worry, I forget sometimes too. I had to think about it. Just a friendly reminder. Erase the outlines. Don't be afraid to erase part of the finger. As long as you can still see where the fingers were, you can retrace them. As I'm doing so here. Then make sure to erase part of the hand just so you can make the transition into a arm from hand a little bit more smoother. Next we're going to work on the body. Go and change this a little bit. Depending on how you are, you can add a bit of a curve up here to make the woman's parts more pronounced. I'm going to leave how it is, but that's just part of my art style. You guys have your own art styles, you know. Just discover them. See how you can use your art style to your advantage. That's what a sign of a good artist is. Just fixing up my outlines a little bit here. Give her a little symbol on her shirt. I don't know. We'll have half a circle, a line, and another half of a circle. Kind of looks like a burger. We'll make this into like kind of like a weird looking H or a sideways eye. Now we're going to work on the legs. Oh wait, hold on. If you want to, you can add little faint lines to her arms to give her look of a little muscle if you give her muscle. Or if you make it really faint, just to give her like a little accent to her character. You can also do something similar to the... We'll get back to that once we do shading on the face. Now, I'm just erasing the line on the leg. You guys might want to keep that so you guys can use it to your advantage. I'm adding a little curvature to the line right here. Ending this stroke I just made right here. I'll bring it up to the camera a little closer so you can see. Right there. Then I'm going to start right here for the second stroke. That way, that's near where the circle was, where we'll call the knee was. That way you can tell that it's two separate parts of the leg. The top part of your leg and the bottom part of your leg. And then we'll do something similar on the inside where we'll add a little curvature. We'll bring the end of this stroke a little back further than we did the other one. As you can see, I did right there. That's where the end is, and we'll start about right here. And we'll bring this down to over here. I'll reduce the curvature on this leg so that it looks a bit better. That looked a little weird in my eyes. Now we're going to do the other leg. Add a little bit of curvature. Do the same thing you did on that leg. Remember to add a little indents, so you know that it's two separate parts of the leg. Gonna erase the outline real quick. And draw the other part of her leg. The other side of her leg, I mean. Draw the bottom part of her leg. Now that we drew the female, we can learn how to shade. Now, when it comes to shading, you're going to have to figure out where you want your light source at. Also, I'll show you guys the character again before I move on. Now, you're going to want to figure out where the light source for your shading is coming from. It can come from this side, or from right above her, from right below her, left or right. There can be different dramaticness of the lighting. It depends on how you are as an artist. In some pictures, you're going to want to show the light source. We're not in this picture. We're just going to assume the light source is right about here, and that's a little bit bigger. And we'll draw the shading on her right side of the body. So, for shading, we're going to not do too dramatic of a shading. We're just going to do little light shading. I'm just making this a little darker. Now, shading is really easy. It's a little bit of common sense. Since the light's coming from this side, most shading is going to be right here. Except for like some parts of her body is going to have a shadow, like her nose right here. Bring it up. Since the light's coming from right here, her nose right here is going to have little shading. So you're going to shade lightly. You can see just a little bit, not too much. Then you're going to shade on the side of her face right before her hair. Then you're going to shade the outside of her hair right here. Have a little bit of shading. Then on this piece of hair right here, it's going to have a little bit of shading itself. But just on the inside, the side that's facing away from our light source. Now we're going to have the little shading on the arm over here. We're not going to put too much right here since the light source is coming from this way. But we're going to have it about right over here. Going to have some shading right on her side of the body, about right there. Going to bring it down to the legs, the shading as well. See, good shading just accents the picture a bit. We're also going to shade about right here where my pencil is. Just the side of her arm right there. Shade that a little bit. And there's shading. It's really simple. I hope your guys' picture turned out better than mine. Since we have a little time, I'll go over a quick little review on what we went over last time. Guys have broader faces, so you want to make that a little broader. For muscles, you want to have a nice little dark outlines so you can see where their muscles are. Oh, I know I can show you guys. I'll show you how to do baggy pants real quick. Alright, we're going to make her legs be wearing baggy jeans. I'll erase what I drew. Not so much so that I can't see it, but just so it's light enough that it won't interfere with you guys watching at home. Now, for baggy jeans, like I kind of went over last time, you want to make a bit of a curvy line. Then when you get near the end, you're going to have it like bunch up if it was in real life. Since we didn't draw the shoes or anything, we're not going to bunch up. I showed you how to do that yesterday. Again, drew a curvy line. Do the same for the legs on both sides. Then now we're going to have creases in the jeans. So about right here we'll have a crease. Over here we'll have a crease up here. You're just going with where the curves, like right here. This curve's really pronounced and you can tell it would go right there. Or you can have it go up here depending on what kind of person you are. But I just felt like this would be better right here and this would be better right there. Then with these two lines right here where it's starting to get bunched up, it's just going to be like straighter across. Not perfectly straight, just kind of little angled. Add another over here, another over here. Just get that really baggy look. You want to do a little lighter on your paper. I'm doing a little darker as usual so you guys can see. Add a little shading again. And if you guys want to show that these are jeans, you can add like the little belt up here. Not sure you guys can see that, but I left a space of what I'm drawing right now. This is the belt, and I left a space that would be the loop of the belt. Remember to leave that little space right there, and voila, you get a belt. You can add some pockets by making slight line, curved line like that. And that's how you make baggy jeans. Hope you guys like this tutorial. Like and subscribe. Go it out.